because I love people, but I just got into a point where I was like, my mental health, I had to get that shit back, you know?
That's the hard part. The hard part for the Scorpio is to remember that if you don't take care of yourself, you will let the world deplete you so bad you won't be no good to you or nobody else.
No, because I feel too
So
much.
you have to, so you have to use what we call constructive selfishness. I want everybody in my family to be a millionaire. They don't see what I see, so I go out and get enough money so I can make us all millionaires.
Yeah.
I can't wait on them to see what I see. I have to make the moves. I have to, put stuff where it need to be in order for the rest of the clans to see what I see. And then we move. We didn't seize all assets. Everybody that was oppressing us, assets has been seized. Right? But a lot of people are not familiar with the Indigenous Rights Act, so I have to rerun the Indigenous Rights Act script so that they can see it was all given back to us. We just have to use a certain process to get it.
I feel like I'm the only one in my family that knows that. Yo, I got Jamaican family. My dad's Jamaican, my mom's Guyanese. And they don't know that. And I've been telling them, and they know a bit, but it's a colonization is like fucking up the family. Like when you say there's certain energies, the enel energy, I seen that shit growing up as a kid in my house. Right? I know what some of my uncles did to my aunties, and I know that shit. Nobody talks about it, but it burns them. But I'm like, I know everybody's life, not because I listened to gossip, it's because I had to hear it. And I kept it dear, and I know what everybody's gone through in my family. And I think I was always the black sheep, but I take it with pride. And now I take it where it's like, you have a mission, and whatever you got to do that mission, I want to, I want to do something great. And now I'm feeling the urge, like even with what you say, Rod, if you need a brother, I'm in Canada, you got a brother here. Like if you ever you one of the real ones out here. I feel your energy. I haven't tapped into I don't know, but when I watch you, you a brother. And there's certain people that we respect you. You protected wherever there's family barbecue, we always gonna look for you. And we always want to have your back because you have our back 100%. When you speak to us, you yo, bro, you put me in tears some days because it's so real, but it's life-changing for us. And when you say you going away, you could just come on here and smile and you change the shit. And I want to say how grateful I am for you, for everybody out here that's just trying to do, young, elder, everybody's fighting. But you, what you did, and ain't nobody has a story like you. So we feed off your energy. You know what I mean? You one uplifting, loving motherfucker, and we love you. Straight up. I can't even say that. I'll say you all day right now. We love you. You are a big brother, you're an uncle, you're like a dad, you a real one. And they don't come across. But I'm gonna tell you, I knew you were certified when you said your birthday was November 10th. I was I'm not gonna be conceited. Scorpios, we different. I feel every sign. We are we just different. I'm not bragging. You asked, I forgot the other Rod's name. He even said when you born on the 10, it's something different. Especially when you Scorpio and you born on the 10, the stars are aligned in a different way. And I'm not saying it's this, but you understand. I understand that's a gift. So it's present.
Yeah. Well, 1110 is initiated 10 toes down by orders of Big Mama. So I mean, I gotta be who I am in order for us to get free.
Yep.
So I'm not with the slave gang.
No, I've never been. My people, what people suffer through, I don't care where you come from, but there's a right and wrong. And when you have the ability to do things, you want to help people, right? I'm always down for my people. So, it don't matter who it is, but there's a right, there's a wrong. And just knowing, to me, it was we always got the story that we came from Africa. That's the story we get, right? Even in their schools. But when you dig deeper, you're no. And they don't, I love Africa. Don't get me wrong. I love this world. But I live in Canada, and there's something that talks to me. From when I was a kid, and I went on a little trip, and we went to the, I think it was called the Six Nation Reserves, and we went to see Alexander Graham Bell's house. And they were doing a demonstration, and they picked me. I just wanted to be picked. But I remember they picked me, and I was a bunch around. I was the only black person there. And I felt good. I was like, finally, they're going to pick me. And she was talking about marriage and getting married. I'll never forget that day, but something never left me. Something said, there's something here. You on this something. Even when I went to Alexander Graham Bell's house, I was like, I know that motherfucker didn't make that phone. I was feeling that as a kid, but I couldn't say it because I was always that kid, like, I just speak my mind. Nobody liked me. I don't care.
So
but
he used to have what's called a lab assistant. And he was a little melanated guy. I can't remember his name, but that's who.
Is it no,
wasn't him.
Okay,
he might have been his. He might have been one of his apprentice or one of his lab hands too. But back then they was giving the credit to the paleface for what our people was doing. Like everybody believed that Albert Einstein's theories of nuclear fission was a cause of the atomic bomb. Yeah. They couldn't convert it from a mathematical formula into a bomb until they called in a guy named Lloyd Quartermain and his melanated team. Right? We don't know nothing about him. No. Who the hell is Lloyd Quartermain? Lloyd Quartermain is the one who seen a mathematical formula and had the guide mind to know how to translate it into a working mechanical structure.
Yeah.
AKA the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
So somebody in the comments said it was Lewis Latimer was the one with him. But I know he did a lot of work on light bulbs back in that same time frame.
The cotton filament. Yeah. Like there's one thing that and it's not to shit on nobody. It's just I realize like we just different here. There's a certain vibe, there's a certain way we talk, there's a certain way we move. It's like the first thing I saw when I saw you look like my sister's ex. His name is David Haley. And his father's from Memphis, but he looks like his father. And he, like, when I looked at him, I was like, Dave, you got to check this guy, Rod Hayes, out, man. He might be your family or something. But it's the mannerisms. It was the way, even when you, like, you always do this with your lip. And I'm like, David, he does certain things. The way he smokes. That might be your cousin or something. But, yo,
I haven't seen. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, of course.
Do you need some?
Just come back right over there.
Yeah. You good? Excuse me, y'all. I had another brother need something.
Hey man, I got more than one question, so oh man, this needs a lot, Rod. Like,
yeah, it's good for the people to see too, because
it needs a lot, man.
Yeah, because the impact is important, right?
Like,
and it make it known that I'm not just blowing hot air. I'm really talking about something.
Yo, I went to school. I researched my stuff outside of what you researched. I researched my shit even when you talking. I'm still doing my research, but I'm like, he know what he's talking about. But I'm not gonna lie. Most of the people, my friends, not everybody's into this stuff because it's a lot. So I put it on my wife sometimes, and a one point might take me an hour and a half to explain because it's so depth. So it is probably taking months to explain who them dirty Moors are, or what happened, or who Jewish people are, or what this word means, or what Hebrew, and unlearning some of the things that we learned in our own.
Well, just for the record,
yep.
Arabic and Islam don't got nothing to do with us.
Nope.
Greek and Christianity don't got nothing to do with us.
Nope, that was never made for us.
And Hebrew and Judaism don't got nothing to do with us. We was here before they brought all that garbage over here and dumped it on our land.
I threw this away. It's called a Holy Bible. My grandfather was a bishop in his church. He wrote my name in this, I think, damn near, like, 92, May the 3rd. That's when he wrote it in there. And it's crazy. Like, I never read the Bible. I wasn't into it. I didn't feel it. I didn't disrespect anybody. I just wasn't my thing. But I threw it away, and I just put it in the garage, and I was like, yo, man, I'm done with it. But I was like, no, man, there's some codes in here, or there's something I can use. And like, I use whatever now. And I'm really trying to tap in. So I sit with myself. I have my own rituals to tap in. To find,
that's the
communicate.
The first contract they brought over here was the Bible.
You know?
See, but we didn't know how to read the contract.
Yeah.
And we believed the Bible was used as a religious book, but it was used to keep the contract in everybody's mind while the conjure was working.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible teaches us how to use a binding spell on ourselves to keep us restricted from ever reaching any forms of greatness.
It totally does. Like, I see it because there's a block on you. Because when you believe something without not even having fact, but when you believe something, is like, it almost has a fear, a constant collapse fear, and a certain mind, and especially when you don't really read it yourself, or somebody's dictating it to you, and you're not divulging and learning. It puts a sense of constrictive fear on the mind and how far you can think in your own possibilities. And even the fact of praying to something and never seeing a result. It is crippling to somebody because
they don't teach us the science. Prayer is a half of an equation.
You know, yeah.
Right? It's a two-way channel, but if you're only using it one way, you can't use it effectively.
Like, and even my family, they talked about voodoo and stuff, and I was like, wait, so even when I look now, I was like, man, that shit got us out of some trouble, whatever we needed. And I was like, but this is life. This is a tool that we use as humans. It's not wrong. It's not right. We are amazing creatures that can touch into a spirit, get into different realms, different dimensions. Why wouldn't I want to access that to better myself and hire myself and get back to what I need to be? That should be the greatest goal for myself. And they don't teach that in the church. That hurts me. And that hurt me because, my family that came from that. Like, hard core. My dad, like.
You got to keep in mind, I was in church with my mama more than anybody else. Mm. Right? She kept us in the church when we was little.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And she used to always tell, I used to always be like, why they lying up there all the time? I knew they was lying to us when I was a baby.
Yeah. Well,
my mama ring-pinched the shit out of me in church for calling the preacher loud while he was telling us the Jesus story. This is a true story. I'm not making it up. So she ringed my arm, but when I got home, she said, baby, you can't say that in the open.
Yeah, yeah.
She said, we was at church, but we don't know who was at the church with us.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's some people that'll hear you say that, they will come looking for us.
Yeah.
So I stopped saying stuff, blurting stuff out in church.
Yeah.
Because it made perfect sense with what she was saying, but it wasn't 2 years later that when I realized school was a farce.
Yeah.
I was in the 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That was when we was moving from Grand Rapids, Michigan back to Pontiac again. I was done.
Yeah.
I failed the 6th grade. Not because I was dumb, but I was done participating in them shenanigans.
Yeah. Yeah.
I seen it for what it was as a child. Yeah. But nobody don't listen to the children.
No, they don't.
The children can tell you that school is a farce.
Yep.
They tell us all the time, but we be like, just shut up, take your ass to school, go learn something. They ain't teaching us nothing.
I had a teacher, I called him out, he was racist. We lived in Scarborough, so I grew up multicultural, but there was a lot of Chinese and Filipino. Then I moved and we went to Pickering. Like, we moved a lot, right? I love my dad, I love my mom, but my dad was never a real man to my mom and my family, right? For whatever reason, but that turned me into who I needed to be. So I understand that, and I do my thing, right? But my dad taught me certain things. But when I went to Catholic school, it would just, like, I went to school, I was one of the only black kids in the school. The teacher literally had me sitting turned into a corner because I was disruptive. oh, you know, I had ADHD, I had this, but I challenged him. And the religion stuff, I challenged him. From what I knew and what I felt, I used to just say what I felt.
You
And
know
it
the worst
really,
thing. You know the worst thing for social development. That was one of the best things my mama ever told me. Don't let nobody tell you who you are.
yeah.
That changed my whole paradigm, because that made me to the point where they talking at me, but
Yeah.
they not talking to me.
Mm.
I
Yep.
don't understand that jargon that they spewing. That don't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I didn't come on no slave ship. My ancestors wasn't no bond servants.
Like they
We've
used to
been
be,
here. We've
they used
been
to
on
say
this
that.
land, and we gonna be on this
Yeah.
land.
And I was like, my spirit is too much of a fighter. I'm 5'8", and I was a small dude, but I knock people's out.
That's a
And I
traditional
didn't always
Scorpio
want to.
trait.
And I'm a cool dude. I'm always like, yo, man, go home. I'm chilling. I'm never aggressive at all. But when it comes to protecting myself, I'll protect myself and my people. And I'm going straight for your chin. I ain't talking. If I feel the vibe, yo, I gotta go. I move quick and I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But I never want to have to do that. But it's like, I know my spirit is protected. It's fight. There's something
What's your
deeper.
name again, Money?
Pardon me?
What's your name again?
My full name is Dean Paul Gideon Earl Henry.
They just call you Dean?
Dean. Yeah. Everybody calls
Yeah.
me Dean.
Yeah, Dean, that's who run the university. So it was good talking to you, Dean. I'm gonna take another caller in. I'm probably
One
gonna
love,
take a
bro.
couple more before I cut out there. I enjoyed the conversation.
Oh, man. I'll leave my number in the chat after, man, or in your inbox anytime, Roger.
All right.
All right. One love, everybody. One love,
Peace,
Roger.
God.
Peace, God.
Family member that you in the same city with, and you ain't even never had an opportunity to spend no time with. Now you talking about what's that term? Singularity, convergence. That's real time convergence into the singularity right there. That's real time convergence. That's some heavy shit. Hey, LOL Adams. So the sisterhood is important. The art, it's gonna look so different than regular school, but it's gonna look so much like a tribal village in a modern era setting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like to see y'all meet in person. This is making me all motherfucking mushy and shit. I don't even get mushy. Yeah, yeah. Y'all keep me posted on y'all interaction, Mizell, King Eddie. I'd like to see how that turned out. Y'all got to run across some family members on a video. Yeah, just pull that's gangster. This is what it's all about. You gotta remember, in the history of America, we wasn't allowed to form coherent, competent, structured families. All of our families had to be fragmented, broken, or dysfunctional in order to be left alone. Now, in the same book where it talk about the crucifixion is about us, the ones they call the black folks, the niggas. And you go in there, you realize that after the crucifixion, after they crucified us, they said they divided up the royal garments. Now, we all know they call the family, the fabric of the family. What is a fabric? It's cloth, right? Now, watch what they do to it. They took the fabric, divided it up, and sold it from the auction block. What they do to the ones they said were slaves in colonial America. The POWs were sold. They told you they were sold from plantation to plantation, which is not true. They were sold from warden of POW camp to warden of POW camp. There was 13 prison colonies established in America. Australia was established as a penal colony, a prisoners' colony. In America, the prisoners were dying off, and the natives felt death in the air from the mass death on these colonies, so they had to do something according to divine law. They couldn't allow all them people to just die of starvation and exposure without doing anything to remedy the misery being expressed on their territory, right? So they had what they called treaty meetings. But when they show you in your history books, they show you Native Americans bringing furs and food and stuff to the colonists. And they tell you about Thanksgiving. And we always thought Thanksgiving was about the raping and the pillaging of the native. Let me tell y'all the real thing about Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was this. Under the Continental Congress consisted of what they call the several states. The several states at the time were the 12 colonies. And the 12 colonies came together to form one. That's number 13. So now you see how your 12 tribes of Israel, and Israel itself being the 13th tribe. So this is how you get your 13 colonies. It was 12 colonies at first. They tell us it was 13, but it was really 12 because one of the colonies encompassed all of the colonies. But really what it was, if you want to know how it really was set up, remember, no such thing as a prison before the founding of the United States of America. Prison did not exist. What do you do with your criminal element? Exile. Well, when Pietro del Negro, Peter the Black, navigated Cristobal Colombo, or Christopher Columbus, into the islands, they found a way to get rid of the undesirable elements. See, the undesirable elements took on several factors. One, they was a descendant of Orisha of the children of the moon. That means they had red hair and freckles. And they had a glowing yellow opaque skin that almost looked white. Today you would call them a Scotsman, or you would call them an Irishman. They had to get rid of them because Irish is Orisha. And the Scots come from Scotta. If you trace Scotta back, you find her in Egypt as a princess. If you trace Orisha back, you're back in sub-Saharan Africa. So now you know why Ireland and Scotland is called Europe's redhead stepchild. And you'll know why they sent St. Patrick's in there to kill off all the priests that they called snakes. How can I prove that? Well, it's simple. There is no fossil record of a snake on the island of Ireland or Scotland. Period. No fossil remain of a reptile, snake. Didn't exist. What the fuck was what was St. Patrick doing then? Record of snakes in Ireland that's not a serpent on the ground, and it was called the Brotherhood of the Wise Ones, or the Brotherhoods of the Wise Serpent. And it was a priest class where the women wore a snake band around their biceps here, and the men wore a cobra around his head here, which is actually what Tupac's headband means. I'm gonna do a post to show you what my do-rag and Tupac headband is Egyptian in origin and native in origin. This is precedes European settlement. So people always wondering, why you always wearing that do-rag? And I be telling them it's holy guard. It's like a kufi to a Muslim. It's like a turban to a Hindu. It's holy guard for African or native. The same as the way Tupac wore his bandana, right? There's supposed to be a serpent band with a cobra. And I'm going to show it to y'all in the post sometime today. I'm going to pull it up. I've been intending to do it for a while. But it represents that he was the prince, not the king. He was a prince. His rank was a prince or a provincial chieftain or king. He had a king of a province, but in the overall land, he was a prince of a high rank. And you know him in the history books as King Tut, right? So earlier, my sister asked me what I meant by that being Tupac in the Revelations. And this is going into that. So Tupac was a master of a very high degree. And Tupac went on a 22-month grievance vexation campaign. What do I mean by that? If you listen to his music, he's telling a lot of what we experience in the hood. And some people say it's low vibrational and all that. And no. The way that it works, if there is no grievance vexed at the close of the age, everything stays the same. But the grievance has to be vexed by masters. The masters have to live the condition of the people in order to communicate to the final master what the problem is, where the problem is, who's the one suffering from the problem, and what do we do to correct it. And so you see the prison interview, Tupac was like, I have to say this. Y'all need to know I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but if I'm not successful, this next dude, he ain't gonna have no mercy. This next dude, he ain't gonna be playing. Go back to the prison interview and watch what I'm talking about. Now, Ed Gordon, he said, look, let's not be selfish. This Tupac talking. Let's not be selfish. I'm not saying I'm the one gonna change the world. I might not change the world, but I guarantee you, I spark the brain that will change the world. In order for him to be that confident, he have to know something. You can't be that confident in sparking a brain, especially with this many idiots, buffoons, and clowns running around masquerading as conscious Negroes, and they idiots. So why was he so confident? Well, you have to go back to your African conjure. I'm not going to tell the story now, I'm going to tell it another time. But in the African conjure, before the final one comes, his little brother had to always come what they call open the way. They call him the opener of the way. So when you seen Tupac, he was the opener of the way. In there, when you go to Revelations, it talks about one of the priests of the Lord being sent into a place where he encountered what they call the prophet of Balaam. Now, in there it say that the angel of the Lord blocked the way from the ass and the prophet. Y'all remember that in the Bible, right? Now, when you go back to the story, it said that the prophet came riding in on an ass, a donkey, a mule. So the prophet, Farrakhan, hit center stage of prominence under the Democratic Party, the mule, the ass, on the campaign for Jesse Jackson. But he said there, the prophet of Balaam encountered an angel of the Lord who stood before the ass and the prophet. The prophet didn't see him at first. The ass saw him first. Jesse Jackson. Now, Tupac performed at Jesse Jackson's presidential announcement when he was running for president in 1983, and he performed Raising in the Sun, right where he met Farrakhan at. And Farrakhan didn't recognize who Tupac was at first, because remember, the ass, Jesse Jackson, knew who the fuck he was, but Farrakhan didn't know who he was at first, right? Watch what happened. The angel of the Lord, Tupac, began to scold the ass and began to tell the prophet certain things, right? So now, this is Tupac. Now, there's one part of the prophecy I'm going to mention, then I'm going to wrap it up after this, because this is almost the second hour, and I'm only supposed to get like 15 minutes on this one. But my sisters got me kind of pumped up, and I couldn't stop. Oh, there go my Israel Tabera. I see you, girl. I've been waiting on you. Most of y'all don't know. Might tell you something else. Every time you put on the bandana, you feel invincible. Malcolm X self-sacrificed to save Elijah Muhammad in order to make this whole process work, because Wallace didn't want to do his part. Wardeen Muhammad, son of the messenger, is the reason why Malcolm did, not Farrakhan, not Elijah, not John Muhammad, not Clarence 13X. Whoa, I love seeing these brothers finding their family on here. That's some heartfelt stuff right there. Whoa. Wow. I believe you my Uncle Eddie's son. Get the hell out of here. Okay, so I'm not gonna give y'all too much more on Tupac. Last thing I'm gonna tell y'all about Tupac before I cut out of here is this. It was made to appear as if he had been slain, but he had not. It only appears as such. That's how it was written when I read it. So Tupac went on a 22-month grievance vexation, but it takes 22 years of manifestation for that master to reach the next master, because each master has to be raised to a certain level before the next or the last master can pass the baton. Yeah, India, they always doing that to me. But I want you and I want Israel Tabera to listen to this video, because I talked about how the sisters got to start meeting and knowing what their roles and responsibilities gonna be. And anybody that won't free gonna have to be in it, because it's only one way to get us free, and that's flip this fucking grid. All of this stuff that I tell y'all, if y'all need a reference, just let me know. Yeah, Mazel. So you will look on my posts and you'll see the mirror effect. You'll see Tupac doing this, and you'll see a gorilla doing this. In between them, you'll see that I'm telling you about a mirror. It's a reason. Ain't not a single post on my page haphazard. You can go back to the very first post I made ever on Facebook, and you will not find me just talking about I was eating an ice cream cone at the mall and it's Saturday. You're not going to find none of them. Only thing you'll find is a whole bunch of blank spots where I didn't say nothing. Boom, I hit you with a seed. Then as you start getting closer to now, you're going to see the intensity of the post pick up. Not only is the intensity, but the depth of content is also going to pick up. And not only that, it's going to start identifying nouns, people, places, and things at the end times. What they did, when they did it, how they did it. All this got to come out. It's all got to be revealed, and all of the imposters got to be exposed. So y'all can sit here. Fuck no, he ain't in Cuba. He in South Central. He in LA. He at home. Y'all ain't see him at. Look, I'm gonna give you a bone. Tupac was at Coachella when they did the video of the hologram. He was physically human, flesh and blood present and watched it from backstage. One. Second bone. All Eyes on Me premiere. He was with Shock G the whole fucking night. Go look it up and find him. Right before your very eyes, you won't even realize you can't see me. He there. Tupac been dropping motherfucking Facebook videos talking like I am now, and y'all didn't even know it was him. Y'all thought it was a white boy. Win without H.P. Blavatsky. We couldn't win without Aleister Crowley or Franz Bardone or Manly P. Hall or Charles Tazez Russell and Joseph B. Rutherford, Mary Baker Eddy. We couldn't win without them. Because they gave exhaustive analysis to the doctrine of the church and the secret societies in order for us to have a comprehensive record of what these motherfuckers was doing to us behind the scenes. Right? So Madame Blavatsky bring the keys to the Seven Sisters to the Blue Lodge. That she went into the enemy's lodge and got out because she was told by some of Enki's children called high cellists that they needed her to get in and get this information and put it in the public domain. But the only thing is, Madame Blavatsky wasn't pale-skinned Russian. She was chocolate.
That's right. She's a mulatto, and she loved to have interactions with dark-skinned Nubian men. And she loved to get that big mandingo dropped on her, man. I'm telling you.
Hey man, quit talking about my girl Madame.
Hey, right? Look, she fell in love. She fell in love with. See how they got the information? It was a being that incarnated that was the name Azabuk El. He reincarnated as El Moroi. El Moroi hooked up with Madame Blavatsky. Madame Blavatsky got the hots for him. He started knocking her down, and then he started teaching her some of the ancient mystic art of science. And then Saint Bernard or Saint Germain them was in with it. With the it's just a picture of them online of all four of them on the picture. With El Moroi standing in the background. He was one of the ascended masters that came with the from the mystic order of Melchizedek, and he's one of the considered as they talking about the three wise men, right? But he supposedly taught Velasquez that the thrill society or whatever they call themselves. That doctrine is really ancient Kemetic science and really Tahuti doctrine. It's really Hermetic principles and Tahuti doctrine. Yeah.
Right. So a lot of the reference she gave, like the Book of Zion and different stuff, Western scholars didn't accept them because they was ancient scrolls from India.
Yeah.
This is where Enki stored all of the earth records at.
Okay, I'm with you.
Enki's priests became known as Shaolin priests over time in China, and they became known as Buddhist monks over in India.
Okay.
Right. And a lot of his spiritual teachings come passed off as the incarnation of Siddhartha.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And but there's really another incarnation of Enki.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Enki was, if you really examine what's taking place, he's trying to study that when the Anunnaki leave, right? This is what the Buddha really doing when they talk about he's seeking enlightenment.
Okay.
You take on the human form to find out the extremes of the human body. The Anunnaki put on the suit of Siddhartha, and he lived a life of a prince in luxury. He decided that the luxury has to be tempered by something, or it spoils the benevolent nature of the being by creating a certain errant character.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes out into the community to live in poverty among the paupers of the land. Mm-hmm. This is the extreme polar opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if he can assimilate into the pauper lifestyle after coming from such luxury, this is total application of willpower and discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the first lesson of the Buddha is it takes great discipline to become an enlightened individual, a Buddha. Great discipline is the first one. The second one is you have to utilize your own willpower to overcome the conditions that the external life put in front of you in order to get the life that you want the external life to present you with.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then he goes through these extremes, these meditating, and he understands something about the mind.
Mm-hmm.
The mind is psychomal, it's erratic. If you don't learn to control the mind, then you won't be able to control your lower base nature as an animal, and you can't live as a divinity amongst animals as opposed to an animal amongst divinities. So control of the mind, that means be mindful of what you think, because what you think becomes your reality. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So then the Buddha begins to practice different forms of yoga to learn the extremes of the body. And what do we discover?
What?
We discover the body is very malleable and adaptable. The earlier you train it, the easier it adapts. And the older the body gets, the more difficult it is to adapt to new ways of being, but the body can still adapt. It will just take a longer period of adaptation. Mm-hmm. So now he's telling us the extremes that the body can go based on the conditions that come with developing over time. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. So at any point in your life that you apply your will, which was the second thing, it's going to still require you to use the discipline, which is the first thing, in order to train your body to be the body of the life you want to live, which training the body is the physical exertion required to radiate the necessary energy to attract to you those things that the person in the body that you're building is supposed to have. Mm-hmm. Because this is the great work again, the building of the temple of man. Mm-hmm. The temple of Solomon is the temple of man. Mm-hmm. The soul goes in the man, and the man has to train the body to facilitate the soul by purifying the ego. Mm-hmm. Shadow work. The shadow work comes with the effort required to utilize your willpower, your ability to use willpower over the desires of the body and the needs of the body in order to transcend them things in which you can become one with the universe, in which all those things become good when you use them. So you really utilizing this blueprint. So this was a method of research or research records of Enki as an incarnation of the Buddha in order for him to learn the best ways to teach the difficult to teach, right? And how to optimize this machine called the human avatar. So by studying what the Buddha is teaching, you're really reading his research notes on how to be the best version of yourself possible. Well, over time in priesthoods and different incarnations of Buddha, you get a huge catalog of different aspects of life, and these are kept codified as a series of sutras. The sex guide is the Kama Sutra. The memory of the war and the recount of the war is the Vamana Sutra. Then you have the Iso Sutra, and the list goes on and on. But these are from different individuals giving you their research notes, not for you to strictly follow them, but for you to have an understanding of what you're dealing with so you can create your own path. So a good series of books that ties into this, right?
Okay, go ahead.
Ascended Masters of the Far East. When you understand how to read the nature of the character of the individual, forensic profile, that's how you can follow them all the way to their front door. See that box collection? The first picture in the second row?
Right here. This one right here. Oh, hold on. No, damn, my bad. Damn, shit. All right, right here. This first picture in the second row, right here.
Yeah. Not the man with the beard, but the books.
Yeah. He's supposed to be Serapis. One of them supposed to be Serapis Babe. We taught him in ancient Kemet. He was one of they
Listen, it was 1 a.m. when I got off that video that you just watched.
What?
Listen, and I put my phone down and picked it back up because a text came in and it's like 10 something. Did you hear what time I said it was when I started that video?
Yeah. You said it was like 11 some o'clock.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I heard this before though, like I seen
Deja vu.
No, yeah, it's like it's like the time. They call it a glitch. See, when that happened, that means that either you got it's something like it was a solar flare or something that happened right then when you probably got that glitch. It was something that happened that caused it. And it could be the time frame you were in too, like the time zone. They say time, but it's like, man, it seemed like you got caught in a glitch to where, like you like, because we all as a people, we all set on a rhythm, a certain frequency, a rhythm. That's what make us can dance on the beat. We on that frequency, but they can come in and they can adjust you. It's a group called the Adjustment Bureau. They put a movie out about it where they come in and adjust your fucking time. Huh?
I remember that movie.
Yeah, the Adjustment Bureau. The niggas come in and they rearrange your time. Like, so you would think that, damn, what just happened? You would be once you figure out what's happening, they done had you, and they then came in and did some shit, and then but it's something they messed up some. That's how you recognize. You weren't supposed to recognize that. If these guys that was probably, if somebody did that, they probably wasn't that good, or they didn't know how high power the alchemist you was, that you was gonna realize that the time frame got changed.
Elder, look,
man, tell him
this real talk, Elder.
Yeah.
Anybody think I'm making this up can go back and watch that video that he just watched. I'm really fucked up in that video about where them 5 hours went.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's crazy.
Look, I'm having conversations with people about this missing block of time, and I get off the video at 1 something in the morning.
Man, that's crazy, bro. The Adjustment Bureau, these niggas right here, man. They got these dudes right here. These dudes are extraterrestrials. They work for the man. They the same group inside of the Man in Black. They work for
first,
the same group. Let me say right here. That's why they dress though, but you can't. They got these things called invisible belts. Where they can put these belts on, and they can it'll speed up their vibrational wave to where it bend the light waves around them where you can't see them, and they'll be up in your house walking around you, but you probably can see them out of the corner of your eye because the technology they ain't got it fully developed, but they got it to where you can't see them. They had
an episode of the X-Files about that.
Yeah, they got them right around the time of George W. Bush Sr. because we was on them, and there was a dude out there when George W. Bush was out there fishing on a boat, and another dude was a Secret Service was standing next to him, and he was fishing, but he was invisible. All you saw is the rod. And that's when they came out and said, oh, well, yeah, we got developed this new technology that they had got from the Philadelphia experiment. See, the Philadelphia experiment, they accidentally discovered invisibility. They was trying to start doing the stealth, right? And I think it was in 1943 or somewhere around that, the Philadelphia experiment. They were trying to
pull it up.
Huh? Yeah.
Pull it up.
Yeah. They was trying to develop that stealth technology. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I say this picture. Then I'm gonna go to pull it up. The invisibility belts. Hold on, let me show you. Philadelphia experiment.
They made several movies over the years about it.
Yeah, that's where they got the technology from. Nikola Tesla. All right, right here.
Yeah, they used his Tesla coils, and they used the Edison's apprentice design, but they didn't have the frequency right. Mm-hmm. One of the side effects is that it cast one of the dudes into the future, into 1983.
Exactly.
The other side effect is the people that stayed on the ship was part of the ship now. They was welded inside. They was fused to the ship.
I'm showing it right now. I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on, let me I say it right here. Boom. All right, let me pull this joint up right here. Not the I want to get the real Philadelphia experiment.
You know it's still a portal there, right?
Yeah, right there. And that portal opened up every 10 years.
Did you know that they built a brick structure around where the portal comes so people won't get caught in it?
What? I didn't know that part.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me blow this up, because this right here, what you saying, it ties into the vortex getting ready to open up next year. See, look, this is some shit. Man, this right here, hey, Rob, I'm telling you, man, this right here, some stuff right here. Hold on, let me pull it up. All right, so yeah, so what they were doing, okay, let's pull it up. They was trying to develop stealth technology, which they already had. Bob will talk about that in this tape I just put out called the Rainbow Project, right? But it's really the original name of the tape was I Came to Right the Wrong, but I just renamed it because he talked about the Rainbow Project in there, and then it'll be catchy just how it is now, so people can get to what he's saying. But these beings, they were trying to develop stealth technology, which they already had, but they were trying to make it more better, and they accidentally discovered time travel and invisibility. It really was they really discovered time travel really right then. It was in one thing with Albert Einstein and all them working on it, and what it did is through the dude Albert Blake, I think his name was Admiral Albert Blake, threw him into 2070 or something. Like he was in 4 or 5 different time zones before they was able to get him back to this time zone. He explained it. So that's like the same thing that's happening to you. And then too, on top of that, after that, years later, when they got this information down, secretly they set up another technology down in Area 51, the S4 in Utah, where they start working on this technology and making it smaller. And they eventually got it to like a belt buckle size where they could put it on as a belt, and they could walk around. They'd be right there with the president, and you won't even see them. There'd be Secret Service agents, 3 and 4 of them had a belt on, and then 3, 4 won't. They'd be visible, and then so you would be thinking that you don't even see them. They'd pull out their gun and shoot you from invisibility. You'll see their gun once they pull it out. The way you can see their gun once they pull it out. Once they get it from their body, because of the way the technology works, it's got like a little malfunction. I don't know if they developed it better, but I know during the time of George W. Bush Sr. is when they rolled them out, when the Secret Service rolled them out.
You never heard of a show come on National Geographic called Future Tech?
No, I'm gonna check that out.
Well, they got an episode that's Weapons of the Future, and one of them was the tank fitted with fiber optics to bend the light around the tank. Right. It was first used in civilian use on the west coast of the United States in a raid.
Yeah, what?
In a drug raid.
Invisible tank.
Yeah, the ones fitted with. All you gotta do, let me see if I can find
I
it.
already know they got. I know they got unmanned. I already know, man. When they show you something, they 40 or 50 years ahead. Bob already told us. When they show you something on TV, they got all that stuff they be showing on Avengers and all that. Them flying They got flying aircraft carriers now. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, these people.
It's called the T Ghost.
All right, let's pull it up
on YouTube.
Right,
you can get a video of it.
Right, I'm gonna get a video of it. T Ghost, the T Ghost. Oh, there you go, right there. Oh yeah, I see it, bro, right here. And it's probably fitted with laser weapons. They got the laser weapon too, the direct energy weapon. They had that in 1953.
That was the video you had actually clicked on.
Oh, right here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch it right now. We got you.
That one was radar. That's stealth technology.
Okay, yeah.
The other one is hold on.
Where it bends the light. That's like a cloaking device. These extraterrestrials, the Anunnakis designed a machine because they understand electromagnetic frequency, and they designed a machine called a cloaking device where they attach to their ships, where they bend. I know what you're talking about, where they bend the light frequency around the ship so it looks invisible. Matter of fact, I can show you what they're doing. I'm gonna show you. Hey, close my door. Close my door, bro. How's he getting up in here? What's it, bro? Hey, I'm gonna show you this video right here that break it down how it works. It's a video that I was gonna show when I was teaching on the part 2 on invisibility. It's a certain type of thing. Hold on, let me show you.
I'm sending you a video on.
All right, send it to me. Send it to me. I'm gonna load it up. Yeah, here we go. That break it down. Oh look, let me do it right here. It's gonna be in my like folder. All right, right here. All right. All right, I got it. I'm gonna load it up. Right here, this is a video that explains a little bit of how it works. Now I'm gonna load your video right now. I'm sending it to my thing so I can get it.
Mm-hmm. Due to the confidential nature of this technology, information is revealed in a controlled fashion.
He ain't telling us everything he knows.
He ain't telling you everything it is to know. He only telling you what's accessible to the public.
Yeah.
Now, if this is what's accessible to the public, imagine what's not.
Exactly, bro. What they got. I believe them motherfuckers got invisible robots already.
You have to. We already went over that. Yeah, you have to watch this all over, but we already went over that. The goal is you tapping into how you translate energy or communicate to your higher self. How do you translate what your God self is telling your mortal self? If you don't create your own codex, your grimoire for how you communicate, you won't have a clear set lines of communication to practice with. So you got to establish the type of communication you're going to have. Then we got to know how to perceive the answer when it comes, and then you can translate it into English for everybody else who you need to get the message to. But if you don't never learn how to communicate with your higher self, you won't even never find out what your psychic ability is.
Yeah, man, these Africans, they main thing is to scam Americans. They think Americans slow, but you know what it is? They don't got nothing else better to do. That's they hustle. Now they got internet in Africa. Now they using the internet to scam Americans, man, and anybody other people around the country. And it ain't just Africans; it's Hindus and Africans that's fucking scamming people. Not all the Hindus are scamming. I'm not calling all of them as a racist, specific group of them. Go ahead. If you think about it, they using inflation to strangle us out economically. Mm-hmm. Over there, their level of poverty is so much worse than ours in most of the country. Right. Go ahead. So they want out of that shit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't condone it, but I understand it. I feel their pain. Yeah. Yeah. On some American for 10,000 miles away, they ain't gonna hurt. They don't give a damn. They gonna see they got all kind of hustles over there. And It might not even be an African, man. I just think it was an African because how the dude that sent me the message, but it could be somebody that don't like me. And I got a couple ideas. They got one of their goons to set that up so they can steal my money. I know what I think I got an idea of who this nigga is.
It's always some shiesty shit somewhere.
Man,
that's part of the game, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
You know. So now you got your friends and your enemies getting rich on your name.
Yeah, yeah.
That means you a bad motherfucker. You productive.
Oh yeah.
Because they producing off you.
Yeah, they saying, man,
and ain't giving you no kickback.
Yeah, he gave me a kickback. He gave me if he got 10,000, say he got 5,000, he gave me 1%. He sent me $50. He said, man, I'm making so much money off you online. Cause he got my picture and he used my picture and my name. He said, I made so much money off you. I just wanted to send you $50 to show you my appreciation.
Oh
said,
man, that's some antagonism right there.
Man, I said, oh yeah, these niggas must know me. It got to be somebody that know me, man. They want to fuck. They want to get at me. So man, yeah, you see that young elder with the S on the end that's using my picture and everything. That's a scam, bro. And it's even one that's doing similar to Raw that ain't his Cash App. So we got the right Cash App in the links right now. It's the capital SIK, capital APE. So it's another dude that he probably got an S at the end to scam off of Raw shit. I'm telling you, man, it's some niggas out here, bro. These niggas watch. They know Raw hot. They know we hot in the game, and they say, oh man, these niggas, we could get a kickback off of these guys. We could get an overflow. These guys' cups overflowing. We could get the shit that fall off the crumbs. The dogs can get the crumbs off the master table, man. That's the damn fucking game right there, bro. It's we Africans. Africans think we slow as hell, bro. I'm telling you.
No, they don't. You know what they think? They think that we are the type that squander more than we should.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
They look at us and how we neglect to pool our resources and block external forces from ruling over us. By doing that, they looking at us like, shit, if y'all gonna just give money away so freely, I might as well get some of that free money.
Yeah, that's what they're doing to us. That's what they're doing to us. They like, man, Rod, you cracked heads on this one though. This was, like I say, we did a lot of tapes. We got like probably over 150 hours worth of tapes. Man, this right here was a good one. This right here was one of my top ones right here, bro. With it, because I'm into this the Mortal Kombat type, the what you call that dude? Not Cage, Johnny Cage, the dude that be doing the fire. Liu Kang. Yeah, Liu Kang. I'm into that type of, that breathing and just like Bruce, like, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna forgot to ask you, Rob, about Bruce Lee. So you was telling me about Bruce Lee. And Bruce Lee was a bad dude. Now there's some dudes out there that I heard of, the dark skinned brothers, Nubian brothers, that were badder than Bruce Lee, but they never got the exposure as Bruce Lee. Yeah, but Bruce Lee, you said that he got set up on his murder or something. It was big, something dealing with it.
He got extracted by the Shaolin masters. So it's layers. We were looking at Tai Chi earlier, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, that's the artistic form of martial arts. All of that we see is the artistic form.
Yeah.
And in the martial arts, every artistic form has practical fight application for the combat student. Don't matter what field of combat you come from, you know when you see the dance how to use certain moves in actual combat if you understand combat.
Okay.
Right? Like even the Aikido that Steven Seagal was using when he was a youngster. Right? That's a ballet. That's a ballet. That doesn't work if he's in catch as catch can wrestling and they hitting him in them joints.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The style of martial art is not a true combat sport. Right? But now, behind all of that, there is a combat group. A group of masters that train their body where they can use their chi to fight you. They don't have to touch you.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? They got masters who can hit you with a ball of fire from across the room.
Yeah.
Right? But they are all held back. Right? They can't be exposed to the public until the Earthborn reclaim the Earth, and all the masters come out and hide.
Right. That's right.
Right? Because the nature of the conflict with spiritual warfare, right? Being fought in the public domain in front of everybody's face behind their back, right? So Bruce Lee come out and Jeet Kune Do is teaching you how to see the combat element in every martial art. So they say he was teaching the guy G, and they were supposed to develop their own martial art.
Okay. Their own style from what he, like the basics that he taught them.
No, he wasn't supposed to teach them. They were supposed to develop their own.
Based on what they is.
Yeah. So now when you look from his training, they did use his techniques to develop their own martial art. Now he spilt over secrets into the open. He have to go into seclusion.
Yeah.
But he can't have people come looking for him.
So fake is there.
Right.
Yeah.
So take him off the scene. Right. Allow him to be seen long enough to get the message out. So now when we look at combat sports, judo produced the Gracies
That's right.
in Brazil.
Royce Gracie.
This is all the influence of Bruce Lee opening the floodgates to study Eastern martial arts. Okay. Then you have the Israeli Secret Service. They developed something called Krav Maga.
Okay, go ahead.
Right? Yeah. These all form together, flow into something called mixed martial arts.
Go ahead.
All disciplines funnel to the mixed martial arts arena. Right? So it's all science. Then all of that is a side effect of Bruce Lee popularizing the martial art.
That's right.
Right? Some of the best movies now got martial arts, but when you go back to movies from the 50s and the 60s, they was just good ass acting. Now they got good ass kicking.
Yeah, good ass kicking, right? Yeah.
Right. So you see the influence one man can have on the global culture.
That's right.
In a short period of time by using those same principles of magic that we talked about throughout this video. He's a living example of that.
Yeah.
Right. And then he was able to leave a legacy of champions behind him. People that actually was in the fight game.
Yeah.
You know, people that trained with him who became notorious ass kickers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, you got different styles of fighting and they do different stuff.
Yeah.
Based on the enemy you combating with. Sometimes you got to be creative and sometimes you just got to hit them straight in the jaw.
Yeah.
So when you understand the sciences of the art, and then you start to put it all together, it start to make sense.
Yeah. Like Major Payne said, he said, I'm gonna put this foot right side there. He said, oh, you think I'm joking? And they can say, oh, start moving his feet. Then he chopped him in the throat. He went down. He said, you thought you was gonna kick me. He said, calling me a liar. Boom, kick that nigga, man. I said, oh yeah.
Hey, you know that's a parody of Billy Jack.
Go ahead.
Billy Jack was a half-breed.
Okay.
And they caught Billy Jack in the field. And this is one of my favorite movies when I was little, Billy Jack. But they caught him in the field and he told the man, he said, I'm gonna take this foot, whop you on that side of your face, and then the damn thing you're gonna be able to do about it. And then he did that shit, man. We thought that was the dopest.
Told nigga what he gonna do, did it to him.
Yeah, but Billy Jack was about a native that was half pale face.
Oh yeah, I might check that out.
Oh man, you ain't never seen Billy Jack?
Oh man, I watch it. That's my favorite type of movie.
That's a cult classic.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
I can watch Billy Jack all day long.
You ever seen?
I can watch it on repeat.
You ever seen?
So he had set his tribe up on the reservation, and he became the chief by default. In the process of this, his duties is to protect everybody on the reservation. And in the meantime, you got these townspeople moving in with their unruly teenagers that's raising hell on the plantation. I mean, on the reservation, and harassing the kids when they come to town for ice cream and shit.
Okay.
right? So then when they finally go too far, he do what he do. Now they want to arrest him and put him in prison. 110 soldier.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's fire, man. I'm gonna check that movie out. Cause I like I say, I collect cowboy movies. I got just about every cowboy picture you can think of, man. 310.
It's actually, it don't take place in cowboy days. It takes place in like the 70s.
Okay, like just recently then, like maybe
yeah. So it's supposed to be going on in like Arizona in the 70s or the 60s.
What? I might check that
the
out.
Flower Child generation, the Love and Peace era.
Yeah.
Right. He come back from, I think, Vietnam War.
Okay.
And he the default chief.
Yeah.
When you do what chiefs do, when you violate the community, now they want to bring you in the army and take him in.
Yeah.
Literally bring you in the army.
Damn. You know, Rod never let us down, man. That nigga like guaranteed. He like guaranteed on your money back. My nigga, tell it. Tell that nigga USC. That nigga Rod Hayes USDA approved, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? He USDA approved, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to like find Chief Big Mac, baby. You know what I'm saying? Chief Pontiac. Yeah. Like, I found out too, Rod. What you know? That's what I was gonna ask you. I found out that the Anarchies, they had came over here with a Great Lakes set, and they said that's why somebody said the Denver Nuggets. That's why they call like the doing in Denver and Colorado. They said that the mountains, it was just nuggets laying on the ground over here. And that these
listen.
Go ahead.
The people on this land, we didn't take gold like that. Gold, we was in tune with nature.
Right, go ahead.
Gold was just another rock to us.
That's why I was just laying on the ground.
That's why we probably find gold anywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We don't hold material like that value on things until somebody else come over here to exploit us for it and use it for value. Then now it becomes the new standard of value.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people don't know, but at one time, the most important thing to harvest was cowrie shells.
Wow.
Cowrie shells was the currency.
Wow.
He who had the most cowrie shells was the richest man on earth.
Damn. That's crazy.
They ain't worth a dime now.
That's crazy. Like I say, I think a penny, I think the way this going, man, a penny gonna be worth more than $1 because a penny is real copper and $1 is just paper. Like this a penny is
not real copper.
Well, not the
you
new pennies,
check that.
Right? The new pennies, right?
None of this new stuff real. All of this is facsimile.
Hey, what year would you have to go back to get a real copper penny? What year does they stop making those? Like
well,
60s?
They will still make them in batches.
Okay.
And they normally try to keep them and to do business among themselves. Mm-hmm. And some of them trickle out into the mainstream, and you'll find one here and there.
Yeah. I noticed that. I think it's like somebody was telling me like 1967. That's when you for sure.
There was a time when where all of the coins was minted with what they were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Right. So 100 pieces of copper used to equal 1 piece of gold.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And 2 pieces of silver used to equal 1 piece of gold.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it was 5 pieces of nickel used to equal a half a piece of gold or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, these all became currency denominations under the U.S. Mint because now they want to control whose face is on the currency. Mm-hmm. Back then, there was no face on the currency. Some people did it for decorative purposes for their family bank, like in John Wick. When they're looking at the gold coins, some people had their coins minted, with the tribal totem, like you had the buffalo nickel. The buffalo was the totem of the Buffalo clan. Woolly-haired, muscle-bound big niggas. Angel Bay and them.
Go ahead.
The Tatanka, the big bulls. Right? Big Mama called them in case of emergency.
Yeah.
And they trampled the whole land. That's why they had to kill all the bison. And that was the symbolic of killing us too.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Oh yeah, somebody else asked me to ask you this before I forget. They said, what's the connection between, because they say Deion Sanders is one of the chiefs on the land. Now he graduated from the Seminole Indians in like Florida, right, for college. Then he went to several teams, but now he was at Jackson State, but now he's going to the Buffalo. They say, and people saying it sounds like an academical connection between what Dion going.
He actually said it was.
Okay, go ahead.
And he actually said he was tying back into his roots.
Okay, that's man.
And that this was taking him back to his people.
Dion knows something.
Right. Everybody think he talking about HBCUs, whatever the fuck they is.
Yeah.
But he talking about tribe, back to the land, back to his people, the totem. Yeah. So if he fall under that totem and he move back to anywhere that's using that totem, it give him honor and distinction among his clan.
Man, that's fire. That's fire, Rod. That's fire. Because everybody was saying, I say Buffalo got to be a connection. Because Dion definitely a that damn Indian. That's for sure. He got the long nose. All of us got that nose. You got it. Like you could tell the Indians because they got this nose. That long.
That's called aquiline features. That's how they knew us when we went to help the Europeans get from under Moorish oppression. A lot of us don't know that.
What?
We landed in Ireland and we went into the Iberian Peninsula to help the motherfuckers fight because they had slaughtered all of the so-called chiefs in Ireland, the snakes. The ones who taught the sacred wisdom.
Okay.
So we went to go investigate.
Fire. And
the ones of us that went was warriors. It's a record. It's not a secret.
Yeah, they know. Like I'm gonna tell you, Rod. Man, I want to show you something, so I can show you. And I'm about to go ahead and do tapes on this. I really wasn't gonna show nobody, but I'm gonna show you that not the stuff that Rod's saying about the dirty Moors and all that. I found a doctor that verified every single thing that Rod is saying. Let me show you this. I'm gonna show y'all this receipt before we get out. Shout out to 12th Elder, man. Because the 12th Elder is one of my background research guys. And he listened to all our tapes with Rod. And he said, man, that stuff Rod is teaching, people think that he making it up. He ain't making none of this up. All right, so we got Dr. Carrie is her name. She put out these different pamphlets. Right? Hold on, let me turn this background screen out real quick so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so these books, she put out these little newspaper pamphlets. Right, she got like 15 of them out. Right, I'm gonna start teaching directly from these joints. Right, but everything Rod Hayes is saying. Now I'm gonna show you this. Look at this, Rod. Look at this. This is gonna blow your mind, Rod. It probably ain't gonna blow your mind, but this lady is putting all the receipts. I don't know if she came out with this after we put this out. It seemed like that she came out. Hold on, let me tell you what.
It might be a year in there it was published.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. March 2021. Watch this. Look at this. This lady she must have been listening to your video, bro. Tell me. Look at this. What it say right there. What she put in that book.
George Washington Challenge.
Look at it. It's all right there, Rod. She got everything, all the receipts, everything you be talking about, Rod. She got the whole storyline in these books, word for word. I said, damn, this man, that nigga Rod, boy, the boys they sleeping, Rod, bro. This lady is a doctor, and everything that Rod teaches about the dirty Moors and about who they are, where they come from, is in all these books, all these little magazines that this doctor put out. This her right here on the back. You see her right there on the back. A Nubian sister. She looked like she looked like one of them ancient Egyptians.
She looked like my big sister from a little bit I could see.
Yeah. This her right here. Hey, shout out 12th Elder, man. Marie Charles, Dr. Marie Charles. This lady has got word for word almost, Rod. I can literally go word for word in these books of your class. And she put this out after you was talking about that, because some of these books just recently came out like a couple months ago.
Well, I had a whole thing on the invasion from 2019.
That's what I'm saying. I got receipts from 2019 from you off your page of this same information. So all the books she put out is here from March 21st all the way up to now, and it's like word for word, like the classes that I say, oh shit, they even got like the links and everything. I was like, oh, these people must be starvation, death, starving people. But if you fast you know, people go 40 days. Dr. Sebi went like a whole bunch of days without eating.
Man, I did all kind of fasts. The longest one I did was about 60 days.
Dang, you that's discipline right there. They take discipline.
Man, if you look at when I first came, how my face was all drawn up.
You was skinny, Rob. I'm telling you.
That was from all that fasting I was doing.
Yeah, you was no fat. You want no fat.
I was doing fast back to back, a 3-day fast. I eat for a couple days, take a 7-day fast, eat for a couple days, 14-day fast, eat for a couple days.
That's as long as I ever did.
Then finally I got to the point where I was done fasting. I had achieved what I was trying to accomplish using that control of self as the mechanism to control myself. Because by right, I'm supposed to be the one on a mad rampage and tow this motherfucker up from coast to coast.
Yeah, ape shit.
Right. But when I get the discipline, I could see an advantage to following the script. We almost at the end gate. Ain't no sense of bucking the motherfucking order when you can use the order to take over. Right? Chess.
Right.
Not checkers. Right? So you don't want to tear it all down if you can utilize some of it to make your rebuild easier. This is why I say we got to catch the government before it totally collapses and start to rebuild a new government, but people not understanding that concept yet.
I feel you on that.
The government got to fall to the point where the people can't deny it no more before they would even consider rebuilding a new government.
That's sad.
Right. And then when you tell them start at your local government, because that's where you got your greatest control, right? They still don't get it. Right. There's certain people that's going to always be the mayor, whether they're in office or not. That's a chief.
Yeah.
And that chief, they gonna always, the mayor gonna tell you, gonna tell you to do something, and they gonna go ask the chief. You can't help it. It's the nature of the people.
Yeah.
So when you understand the nature of the people, you adapt and you adjust. There's chiefs all over the land about to reestablish their jurisdiction.
That's right.
But the people got to be cohesive as a unit enough to understand how they was using the divide and conquer mechanisms to turn the tribes of the earth against each other. You know, because some of them might have a little bit more Anunnaki blood than others. They look down on.
Yeah, right.
I'm more God than you. Well, how much God do it take to be God?
One drop.
If you God, look, and if you God, how much God do you have?
Yeah, right.
How much God are you? If you got, you either half a God or you're not. Demigod, what is you?
That's right.
Right. So when you understand that the force that is, when it's activated mitochondrial, this is what makes this 12, 11-year-old boy a grandmaster.
And chess.
Yeah. He got the discipline already. And then he got the structure and the love of his parents to make him want to be better at what he's doing.
That's fire, Rod.
That's why they want to break our families up.
That's fire.
The father is the motivator. Whenever you upgrade yourself, your kids gonna upgrade themselves. They can't help it. They seen their daddy do it. They got to do it when they get a certain age. They know they got to do a certain thing. But we don't know this. And they try to erase it out of our culture. But when you watch great men, you find that a lot of them lived and died around the same age because we didn't know they had to stop them at certain ages before they allowed them to continue on and take over. Right? So when you're looking at Malcolm and Martin, they both 39.
Wow. Go ahead.
I think Noble Drew was 39.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Marcus Garvey was 53. Elijah was 63. He was 10 years past their order. That means he had set up a good system they couldn't penetrate.
They couldn't touch him. They're done.
But he knew he was infiltrated because Malcolm told him.
Yep.
Because Malcolm knew who they was because the police had thoroughly infiltrated the Nation of Islam. He told them in the public. And that's why they always assume that certain people was in on it until they find out that it was exactly who Malcolm said it was. It was the police and the FBI.
Yep, that's right.
That's who he said it was the whole time. How did Elijah know he was infiltrated? And what did the motherfuckers that infiltrated look like?
Like us.
So you got to know there can't be no pale face behind it.
Yeah.
And the same thing apply to Marcus Garvey. The same thing apply to Patrice Lumumba, Stephen Biko, Nelson Mandela, Jomo Kenyatta, and the Mau Mau. Everybody is being betrayed by somebody that looked like us. So then the elders left the message for posterity: get rid of the enemy within.
Right.
And you won't have to fear the enemy without. What they mean by that? Why they leave that for us? So this is how you speak to the future. They call that hedging your bets. Because some of us believe our elders better than we believe this current system.
That's right. Right.
So now you get to the Nuwabian part of the UENIA. Because Malachi wrote everything from a family book to a constitution,
right,
to multiple fields of study in the degrees of Mohammedanism, Christism, degrees of Mosesism, right?
Right.
Answering the 360 questions for a Muslim, the 360 questions for a Christian, and the 360 question for a Hebrew Israelite.
That's right. Right.
Right. So if he know the answers to the questions, why they don't know?
That's a good question.
It ain't that they don't know them, it's that they are under a selective ideology that was predicated upon the false teaching.
Okay, go ahead.
And by accepting the reality that you've been deceived, now you got to accept that reality and you have to deal with it to improve yourself in that regard. That's called learning to protect yourself from evil. Insulate yourself from false teachings. Right. That means anything that's rooted in fear, that you need to study that without fear. Right. So Noble Ali say, I'm gonna make the European tell you the truth.
Yep.
So then next thing you know, you got an onrush of European thinkers in the sciences and in the churches.
Whistleblowers.
You got Mary Baker Eddy. Right. You got Madame Blavatsky.
Right.
You got Manly P. Hall. Right. You got Aleister Crowley, Franz Bardone. And they all carrying heavyweight information. You got Rudolf Steiner, Israel Regardie. And they dropping it heavy. But you know we ain't paying no attention because you want to have something from a nigga, put it in the book, right?
That's how you got to do. That's what they say.
So if your elders make them tell you the truth, how you gonna know the truth if you don't go where they put it? In the library, where they bury their lives.
That's right.
The truth there, but you got to go dig that shit out.
That's right.
Right. So now we learned that they play word games. They play board games, mind games, political games, assassination games, war games. These are the games of the guys played out on one board in the galactic chess.
Go ahead.
But you play it like you're playing it in a hologram.
Mm-hmm.
You put your headphones on and you get absorbed in the game so much that you lose track to the reality that you're just playing the game. The game of the gods. You don't ever control it as long as you be a victim to it. It's right in the rules. The victim can never be the controller of the fate of others until he becomes the victimizer. And the only reason why the victim become the victimizer is to overthrow oppression. He victimized those who victimize his people.
Right.
Right. So the keys to magic is the keys to unconditional love, control of the self, and the discipline to become what you will. Then the part that you want to develop, study it. Study the mythology, the fiction, the non-fiction. If it's science is on it, study it. Because the more you understand it, the more you can control it. As you practice it, the stronger you get in the function. You can make the chi accumulate in your hand to be hot or cold.
Right. Go ahead.
But if you don't understand the usage of it and you don't practice, you ain't gonna be good at nothing. And the practice is doing it until your subconscious have it locked in. Muscle memory, subconscious memory. Repetition until you absorb it. The same with hypnosis. You got to go through a repetition in order to get put in hypnosis.
That's right.
And you got to be in a alpha wave state, theta wave state to absorb information. So you got to understand the states of mind. How do you facilitate that state of mind and then practice? That's the hard part, because nobody got no discipline no more.
It's one of the best tapes we dropped, bro. I'm telling you. This right here, I love this information you give me right now. I needed this. I needed this information for the cheat, because that's what I'm studying right now. This harnessing the air, harnessing the energy, because all the energy is in the air. So the power is in the air, in the breathing. And we've been talking about that for the longest. And just breathing and absorbing. Like when you notice when you make somebody mad or they finna get ready to fight or anything, they always take in some air first.
Yep, deep breath.
Or the cool off, even the cool off or the calm down, they say. Or even when you get hit, like you hit a bone, hit a funny bone or something, you go, take in some air, baby. Ooh, oh, that shit hurt. You know what I'm saying?
So that's the science of breath.
Yeah.
That's a book. But practicing different breathing techniques give you control of different bodily functions.
Pain, you can control pain through breathing. You can control pain through breathing.
So the more you understand the breath, that's spirit.
Yep.
Spiritus mean the breath.
Go ahead.
Right? That's the word spirit. Spiritus. It's Latin. Right? I mean the breath. The function of the breath is to facilitate the oxidization of the materials that you use as a waste product. When they oxidize, that's when the body starts to burn. The burning is the sensation of the conversion of all of that stuff into some usable substance for your mitochondria to power your DNA.
Right. That's right. Go in.
If you go to the mitochondria, you'll find that in the mitochondria is the matrix. And when you unravel this secret, as we just went through it, you unraveling the keys and the source of the matrix. So when they tell you that God is a man and you tell them God is a woman, now they'll understand it a little better. X-Men Academy.
Right. And that's what I was gonna tell you too. Like when women having a baby, they say breathe. Go ahead. You know, when they're having the baby out, they say take some deep breaths, relax. You know, so like it's gotta that I think the beginning of the chi is discipline. It's discipline, like you said, then harnessing the air energy. It's something doing with the air, how they gather in that power, because the electricity, all that work with the air. So it's getting the air. Yep.
Yeah. That's what you're using for Prime Creator to relay the information to your mitochondria. You gotta remember, if you study epigenetics, you know that we projected into ourselves from somewhere else. And if we projected into ourselves from somewhere else, that means we got to be in a remote location where we not in this form. Right? And we being projected, the inner workings of the mechanism is telling us that the self is projected through the mitochondrial and it's reading his book of life off the DNA. The DNA is giving you your instructions of why you came here and how you need to move in order to get your job done. Genetic memory.
Do this, Rod. Like, so we got our babies, right? We got these babies that's advanced. I'm telling you, my baby is advanced. How do I start training them like you were showing in this tape? Like start blindfolding them, make them catch a ball, make them do this stuff, make them read, doing like this, like they could talk.
You gotta know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you need to understand what the mind doing.
Okay.
If you understand what the mind doing, then you can instruct them better.
Okay.
Like, I don't give a cookie cutter for everybody because every child is different in how they need to be taught.
Okay.
But it's some things that you can teach them, no matter what their learning style, that'll help them grasp and translate information quicker.
Yeah.
As soon as possible, we need to teach our children speed reading.
Yep, you was talking about that.
Soon as possible. Soon as they got the Phoenix, they got a program I like. I ordered them and I end up having to cancel my payments on them because they business practices didn't match their product. Their product is excellent, but they business. Anyway, the IQ reading program, right? It uses what look like video games to train the eye to perceive faster.
Okay.
Now, there's a couple of side effects come with learning speed reading. One, it broadens your peripheral vision, which means it allows you to see a larger spectrum on the light spectrum than you normally would see. You also pick up information faster. It was a movie, a series just come on USA. This dude, his father was a cop. And his father was teaching them at an early age how to pay attention to detail. SikApe, that's the name of it. His father trained him how to pay such close attention to detail until his mind began to register details without having to really look for them.
Yeah, just automatic.
Right, because it was redundantly taught and embedded in him at an early age. You gotta remember the Jackson Fives used to get out of school and rehearse till it was bedtime.
That's facts. Go ahead. I was gonna say that. Go ahead.
You know, look at Beyonce Knowles.
That's right.
They can say what they want about her, but if you look at how hard she been training from a child,
that's right.
Right, she can only be what she is because she trained herself to be that. Yes. If her self-confidence match her skill development, she has to reach that level.
That's right, bro.
That's just the law of nature.
Tiger Woods, same thing.
Yeah, same with Tiger Woods. Yep. Same with the Venus and Serena, whatever the people say they is or not. Yep. But the thing is, you can't take away that all of their childhood they practiced.
That's right.
And they became good at a faster pace than the average child.
Right.
And then they took over.
That's right.
It is what it is.
God. Yeah, so you got people like, and then like the people that start out like Mayweather. Mayweather was doing it when he says he was a kid. His dad. Yep. So now he the greatest. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Like, they mentioned Kobe. Yep. LeBron too.
Yep.
LeBron was playing with NBA players, and at a young age, they used to come into his town to play with him.
That's right. Kobe too. Yep. So a lot of these cats that's come great. A lot of them, some people like if Michael Jordan, he rare. He said like I think he started playing in the 12th grade or something like that. Yeah, he rare. You know what I'm saying? He became the GOAT. He rare, but like you got some people, they never even tap into their potential until later on in their life. They figure out they could have been the GOAT.
Call them late bloomers.
Yeah, late bloomers. Go ahead.
Yeah. So some of us go through hard life to be the best elders. All we doing is training to be in the position we truly want to be in. So if I go through life and I learn how to kick ass, take names, get rich, and play games, now I know everything I need to know to have fun with my family when I get old. So once we get to the point where we can become the elders, now we can enjoy our family the best. Right. So that's where I'm at. That's why I'm a late bloomer. I could have did this shit when I was 8 and told these people that there's some strangers on the land, but I couldn't tell them exactly where they was at.
Yeah, they probably would have took you out right then, bro, like they did Lil Chief, Lil Horn. What his name is?
Yeah, talking about Emmett.
Yeah, Lil Emmett. They would have took you out like Emmett. Emmett might have said something. They heard him. And they said, oh, yeah, that's...
I'm telling you, man, I know exactly what happened, man. When I'm reading the story, I'm like, this is a repeat. Yep. That's Chief Little Horn.
Yep.
He would have had this motherfucker turned upside down righteously, right? So imagine you merge Malcolm and Martin together all in one person. This is what he would have grew up to be because people would have responded to him like that. His thing was whistling the war cry. In the South, it's called Whistling Dixie. It became that during the Civil War, but it's an old tribal war cry. Some of them use a little flute made out of wood.
Okay.
But some of them just learn to whistle with their mouth.
Okay.
Chief Littlehorn, if he come back, he gonna always be a whistler. And his whistling gonna make him famous all over the land, and he gonna be able to use that as the cover story, like E40, to join the Chiefs behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So while you using your art to get you into places, you're using the places that your art take you to make your connections. Right? So we got different levels. And we got to start tapping back into the old structure and the old ways in order to remember who we is. So that's the keys to the sorcery on the land, that natural magic.
Hey, Rod, I'm waiting on him right now, Rod. Yeah. Rod cracked heads and twist caps on this one. This right here, one of the best ones. This one of the, like, we got a lot of tapes, Rod. This one right here is one of the top ones, Rod. This is hot. I like this tape. Yeah, this was a good one because this right here taught us the next level information. It says, "Do looking in the mirror mess with your self or esteem? Does looking in the mirror mess with your self-esteem?"
It's the conversation you having with the person you see in the mirror, whether you use it to tear you down or build you up. You can't never allow nobody to convince you to tear you down. Always build yourself up first, because that's going to make your real tribe come to help you build your. When they see you doing the self work, then they gonna come and help you work at the other stuff that complements that. So if you building yourself to be the king, by the time you get done building yourself into king status, you got a kingdom under you.
Somebody said, "How do they find a chief on a land in the Philippines?"
The Philippines is matriarchal. They looking for a big mama.
You already pointed that out on the 007 tape. I think you showed the big mama for that area in the 007 tape. Yeah, go check out that 007 tape, Mission Goldfinger, when Raw was pointing out the different matriarchs that were controlling the land in Asia. The one in Asia, he showed that lady that was connected with Mother Khadijah and what it was Farrakhan's wife and Elijah Muhammad's wife, and there was a couple more ladies.
That was Imelda Marcos. She's not here no more.
Okay, they took her out.
Yeah.
Wow. It says what you think about geometrics? A question. Not related to the subject, but
can you post the question up? Because I can't see it.
Yeah. Okay, go right here. We got a $5 shout out Carlos, man. Shout out Carlos. Not related to the subject, but can Chief talk about the Burkhardi? Man, I can't even say what the hell it's a certain tribe. Boricua. B-O-R-I-C, Borica.
Oh, those are Puerto Ricans.
Okay, all right. Oh, Puerto Ricans. Okay, all right. Puerto Ricans from the like our Latino light-skinned brothers.
Yeah, so Puerto Rico was annexed by the conquistadors. The conquistadors is using you see Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
Puerto Rico was an island where the thieves was keeping their stash at before they moved it back to Europe.
Okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. So they built military outposts, Spanish outposts on all corners of the island, and fought the natives to the center of the island. Right. So once they finally French lost, they moved their wealth. Now they moved their wealth back to Europe. The Spanish did. Yeah. This is when they set up. They're getting ready to set up Switzerland now. In the banks. Right. So now the natives eventually fight the conquistadors to a stalemate on the island.
Okay.
Some of them stayed and corrupted the priesthood to the day, but most of the priests there are back to the old ways, know who the ones that don't belong there and that's using the priesthood to exploit the people. That's the only way you know the difference. When you're looking at the priesthood, the ones begging for money, exploiting people, offering them to do conjures, that's not what a priest do.
Yeah.
That's all kind artist shit.
And we got another one, Skyfi. Shout out Sister Skyfi for the super chat. It says, Rod, what's up with the month of May? They said something big's supposed to happen in the month of May.
Well, you can't say what's gonna happen. You can look at the stellar alignments. And according to the stellar alignments, the energy that's coming to the earth, and something should happen according to that energy. But you can't never say exactly what it is without a past frame of reference that lays over the future. That's why they say look back to see the future. Yeah, so it's the alignments. If you don't have a similar alignment to the event, you won't have a comparative analysis to figure out what the event gonna be.
Yep. All right, somebody said, Rod. That boy Rod cracked heads on this one. It says, what about those whose mother abandoned them or had a toxic relationship with their sons? How do the sons receive the mitochondria energy? I guess he was trying to say.
The female he get with,
okay,
is going to come in to clean up his mother's generational curses. He got to be perceptive enough to know she there, or he gonna miss her.
Okay, that's fire. That's fire. Yeah,
Big Mama always sends somebody to reground your mitochondria. You can't be on the land unrestricted mitochondria wise from the sisters. You always gonna have a relative or somebody that's gonna be partial or that's gonna take on the responsibility of honoring the mother role in your life. You know it until later on.
Yeah.
All that time.
Yeah.
Damn, right now when I look back at all of the people that passed codes to me coming up, I'm like, why do we not be more consciously aware that we code flipping even as children? The children's games, all of those children's games, hopscotch and all that, those were training programs. All them games that we double dutch. Double dutch is from here. Double dutch ain't from nowhere else on earth but the Americas. That's where it came from. Right?
I never learned.
Yeah, but other cultures have a similar practice. Like in Asia, they got this thing with the bamboo poles that looks like they hopscotching.
I know what you're speaking of.
But that's all how we learn how to read the culture versus the training we get in the educational system of miseducation and deception. So when you get older, you becoming an elder on the land, right? You coming into who you are, you're responsible as an elder to tell everybody what you see until they understand what happened to our people so we can break free as a collective. One of us can't break free and leave everybody else in bondage. We have to find a way to free the most people we can free of the earthborn, right? And that's what I have been working on. And the task is so big that when Everett X told me what I had to do, I said, man, I don't think I could do that. He looked at me and started laughing. He said, you got this.
Yeah, because here you are.
I did not see my capabilities. Now you got to keep in mind, I'm coming from perception of others of me. I'm an idiot. I ain't really that smart. Right. So now I got to learn how to find out how to read all these different tribal customs and traditions across the land to see what's going on with our people. And then I keep seeing these sore thumbs pop up. That's not how we move. Who is this? Signing treaties to sell land? Where did these people come from? Who is these people signing these treaties? This ain't us. They land. We don't believe that you can sell Mother Earth. That's like somebody saying, yeah, I'll sell you my mama. It doesn't compute to a seasoned chief that becomes an elder.
Right.
It's irrational logic. I can't sell you my mama, fool.
Okay.
So when you're reading in the treaties that Chief White Dog, what the fuck? Who is this? It's talking about you can buy this land.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's how we know that there's imposters on the land, because they not moving like the tribes.
Mm-hmm.
All that stuff made up to trick us.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm gonna keep saying it until we understand it.
And that's all we can do is keep saying it. You know, some people gonna catch on, some.
Now they about to catch on fast because we're getting close to end game. We getting close to the big rollout.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Very close.
Yeah.
My dreams, I tell you, my dreams. I don't even see how I get rest. From the time I close my eyes, I wake up in the morning. It's like I'm everywhere.
Yeah, we do a lot of traveling in our dreams. Now remember, if you notice, the time in a dream doesn't match the time of the sleep. You can be in a dream and go through a whole week and wake up 8 hours later.
Yes.
But in the dream, you lived a week.
Listen, Brother Rod, that is so true. The other day I lay down and I woke up. I was like, oh, it's almost time to get up. I slept so good. I had only been asleep for an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was time to get up. So that's true.
You know, I went through years of insomnia. I used to read myself until I fall asleep. That's how I ended up reading so much material. Couldn't sleep. I had to read at least about 30 or 40 pages to make my eyes tired enough for me to fall asleep. That add up fast.
Well, I don't have that problem. As soon as I lay
but
down,
what I ended up doing, I ended up training myself to use water as a sleeping agent. So when I start every night when it's time to go to bed, I used to drink a big cup of cold water and go in my room, cut off all the lights, close my eyes, go sleep. After a while, my body got used to when I drink the water, that means it's time to go back to sleep. So when I started experiencing my bouts of insomnia, I smashed a big cup of cold water. I'm out like I took a sleeping pill. And it only took me about 3 months to train myself to do that. Now I can do it at will.
I drink cold water before I go to sleep as well.
Yeah, most of us build up a dehydration anyway, because we're not properly, our system's not working at optimum levels, and it causes more water than we would normally need to run the mechanical system of the body. Right? So when we drink that water, we hydrate the system. Now the system can start doing repairs, and it does repairs when you resting, when you sleep.
Okay. Yeah, my body, I used to drink juice. Now all I want is water. All the time, all day.
Yeah, I went through phases: juice, water, pop, juice, water, pop, and then I found out I was calibrating to energies doing that. When I was going through a phase, I only got the appetite for this. And then I said, okay, I'm calibrating myself. Then I had to say, well, who energy am I calibrating to with this particular thing? Whether it was, I got an overwhelming craving for chicken. Oh, that's me.
Yeah,
I'm tapping into me. I'm tapping into me. I love fried chicken. So, but when I go through I found that when I'm trying to channel my mama, I get an overwhelming craving for Pepsi. Well, most of my life, my mama drank Pepsi. Before that, she used to drink Royal Crown Cola, but then they mostly went out of business and forced her. She didn't like Coke, so she started drinking Pepsi. So now, if my mama trying to tell me something and I can't hear her, I'll just get a craving for Pepsi. And then it ties the sympathy into my mama and her Pepsi that puts me in what's the nostalgia and reminiscence to recall her energy, and then she can communicate with me.
That's funny because A lot of times I think like my dad is trying to communicate with me. Like I'm still grieving him. It's been 2 years. I'm the only girl. I was a daddy's girl. And I just crave like these beef sausages all the time. My dad he was like the sausage connoisseur. He was die for a good sausage, you know, down south.
That's how he communicate with you. The way that you open the two-way channel is when you get the craving, he got a message for you. Right? So you go, whatever his favorite sausage was, try to find that one and cook that one. And it's closer to his energy. You got his DNA signature part of who you are. And when you do something in the physical world to call forth the energy, now you can align your codons on your DNA to allow him to download information directly to you from the genetic tree, from the family tree.
Okay. I'm gonna find that sausage.
Yeah. All right, sweetie. I was gonna make this my last one. I'm trying to take one more call before I go.
All right, brother. Thank you. Gratitude.
Okay, you're welcome, sweetie.
Hey.
Hey.
I was trying to get a hold of you forever.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm all right, not too bad.
Where you calling from?
Ohio.
Ohio? You right down the street anyway. What part?
Not too far. How you been?
I've been doing pretty fair for square.
That's good. That's good.
What you want to talk about today?
I've just been trying to talk. I don't know what it was I was supposed to get in contact with you about, but a while ago, I had inboxed you a couple times, and you had came to me in my meditation, and it was just said I was supposed to get in contact with you. This when you was on Rod Hayes, and you'd be so busy though. I hit you up we had never connected, but I don't know what it is we were supposed to.
Do you have Cooks in your family? Last name Cook?
Not that I'm aware of.
How about Griffin?
Not that I'm aware of.
Look, okay. This is checking because you look like one of my cousins.
Somebody did I hear somebody say something? You know what? My cousin did just say something about some Cooks being on our side of the family. I want to say she did. My grandmother. I think she did say that.
See, is she from around the Magnolia, Mississippi area?
They are from Mississippi. I'm not sure what area.
Find out. It ain't gonna be hard. You gotta do is call. There's a couple people in your family you call. You know everything you need to know.
There's one I could call. This is the one that told me about the Cook, but they changed their last name to Lopp, L-O-P-P. They Lopps or Keefs now.
So in the tribal tradition, when you used to, when they crop a dog ears,
yeah,
they used to call that Lopp, right? She changed her name because she's telling us somebody's trying to cut the line, trying to cut the family tree, so she had to hide. She had to conceal herself. She had to lop her ears off.
She married my grandfather, and his last name was Lopp. And she changed their last name.
He might be the one who was hiding from the enemy, because he's the one carried the last name. It's normally tied to a profession too. So if he was a dog man, he could have got that name from being from a long family of dog men. They crop the dog's ears and tails and stuff, right? But that was a term that you would hear when somebody's trying to cut off the family tree right before we went into the amnesia.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I know, we was in fucking amnesia. Yeah. Now I gotta try to piece this shit back together and get it back to us.
I'm trying to. And I know it's a lot on my mom's side with them losing their land. I know my grandmother had a bunch of land in North Carolina, and it illegally got took. And they got an airport.
Yeah, all of the Carolinas going back to the Gullas and most of Florida. The Gullah Geechee Big Mama is going to have to assign land. It's not a grant. It's a you're responsible to caretake this area.
Because I know she full-blooded, and she was full-blooded. She was Blackfoot and Chippewa Indian.
Yep. So when they started saying Blackfoot, that was a name we got from traveling across the desert. We didn't wear shoes in the desert, right? And the sun used to cook the feet darker than the face. When we got over there, the feet were so dark, they laughed at us and called us Blackfeet.
Oh, wow.
That's a different clan. Yeah. They a splinter clan of the Iroquois off of the Crow. It's a couple more clans. I can't think of them all right now. But they was all branch family tribes that came to fight the Gullah Wars. Yeah. This is how we all end up in the Southeast, concentrated in such high number in the Southeast. And when they do their surveys, they can't find us in the other parts of the land. We was fighting war. And then they wanted, that's why they came with the slave narrative. That keep us from rebelling against the war that they imposed upon us. Right? So their whole system, Plato's Republic, being played out in our face behind our back.
My grandma used to always say, I don't know about no slavery. I wasn't no slave. I don't know nothing about slavery. Like, they teach y'all that in school? I said, yeah, grandma, they was teaching us we were slaves. She was like, nah, we owned our land. We wasn't no slaves. We had stores, land. We ain't slavery. I don't know about that.
Yeah, they came to the mainland to fight in the wars. Once Chief Pontiac and Toussaint beat the French, they was done over here. They was done over here. They had no more business. They lost twice. Right? And because they lost, on their tail end running out, they sold the protectorate agreement, but they didn't really have a protectorate agreement. They made that shit up. They had sacked Port Nola down there. It was we didn't call it that. The French named it that. Right. But we had a base. This is where this is where the intake was to the land. Right? But once they invaded, it ended up where they first settled in what we call the Northwest Territory, right? Northeastern Territory, what we call the New England states. The New England states is where they came in, so that became where the immigrants was brought in at. It's buffering you out, sweetie. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. Yeah, it was buffering you out for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but once we beat the French, they leave. They sent the Statue of Liberty back to tell us who was behind it. Statue of Queen.
Yeah. They don't know. I know I'm getting my land back. It's coming back. I know I ain't even gonna have to fight for it or nothing. It's coming back.
Mm-hmm. The bigger picture and the little picture. You gotta look at what's immediate around you, and then you gotta look at what's playing out on a bigger scale. This whole system, they keep telling us not executive orders, but presidential announcements and congressional announcements of how long we got, and they telling us when it's gonna all fall apart, and it's about fell apart. So whenever the AI can stretch out, I don't know what the last governmental function is gonna pay for, but once that's over, there's no way to hide the new rollout of us. This is us, right? So we've been under other people's philosophies and opinions of assholes for this long. Now it's time for us to raise these matriarchs back to their place so Big Mama house can be put back in order. And that's all it is to it. It got nothing to do with me, and it's nothing personal, right? So it is what it is.
What?
I'm going to leave the European here just long enough to teach you how to run a government.
Man, know what you all leave. It's hard. I'm going
now,
to teach myself.
Look at what their job is, though. Long enough for what?
To teach you how to run a government. Wow.
That's number 46. That's Taj Tariq Bey.
Wow.
You see where it say I'm going to repeat myself?
Yeah.
That's Taj Tariq Bey constantly saying over and over. It's civics. It's civics, and they trying to make us believe that it was a religious organization.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. That's what that is. That's how I knew when I was looking for Taj. What was the other quote I sent you? Another one by him too.
Yeah, right here.
This Angel Bay right here. The door is locked and the angel came and took the key away. That's the unity key. The Ali key. Right? That's Angel Bay. 38, mama's gun. My mama used to carry 38 in her purse.
Right. Yep, my grandma too.
When she first started going to church, it used to still be in there.
Yep.
She had been going to church some years before she cleaned her purse out. She had a battle kit in that motherfucker.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Them older school women, my grandma was scrap.
Type in most feared black woman in America.
I got you.
She is an indigenous lady. If the picture come up, I'll show you what I'm talking about. But she was they called her the most feared black woman in America.
This lady right here.
No, that's not her.
Okay. Let's roll down. Take a look. Yeah.
There she go.
Yeah.
See what the sister got right up. That's her.
Why the FBI hide the story of the most dangerous black woman ever? Hold up. Oh yeah, there she go, Rod. Her name is somebody else to do took the picture. Damian White took the picture. Her name is Lucy Parsons, born in slavery 1853, made in her life mission to fight for the poor and disenfranchised. So she was in Chicago, and her was starting in Texas. Then she was to flee to Chicago. Hey man, I'm gonna do some research on this lady, man.
I know. That's why I brought her up. I've been intending to put you up on her sooner.
Yeah, man, I'm about to check this lady out, man, because